Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday episode of 0 to 1. We're up to episode 42 now, which is good. If you've never joined us before, we do these community events every week where we try to share practical advice for our members who may be founders, entrepreneurs, they may be working in a freelance role or maybe still figuring out what they want to do next. We always welcome you to join us on those. So tell your friends if they're interested, they're very welcome to. They can just join on the Luma link that gets shared. Usually we put it on our LinkedIn or we'll send it via email to you if you're already on the Doerscircle member list. So yeah, we're always happy to see new faces, and we do encourage everyone to share as well. I've just realized I need to turn the chat on, so I'll just do that right now. There we go. So everyone can talk to everyone. Before we kick off, I guess just housekeeping. If you've not joined before, we've got the Q&A section at the bottom. If you want to add a question, Robert's going to take you through some pearls of wisdom. But if you've got any questions on that, feel free to put that in the Q&A, or you can add any comments in the chat as well. And I'll keep an eye on those as well for you, Robert. So don't worry, you don't have to jump between or go out of your flow in that regard.
Would be good to
tee you up, I guess, is so we know actually very much when we talk to members that one of the biggest challenges they have is needing to do a lot of things all at the same time. So if you're a freelancer or a solopreneur, you're a business of one, juggling many things. But even if you're an early stage founder, likewise, you're also juggling a lot. And it's really important to be able to still focus on how you can develop your brand from an awareness point of view, from a customer interaction point of view, and so on. And so we're really excited this week to be joined by Robert, who's going to share his journey also from StoryChief and how you can tackle this with what he calls the 20-minute workflow. So I think based on the flyer that you may have seen, that it's something that everyone can try and do. I think sometimes it might seem daunting to think, okay, I can't dedicate 3 or 4 hours to something a week, but I think we can all probably associate a little bit more time. 20, 30 minutes is just like going to the gym, right? You do a little exercise and it all adds up over time. So over to you, Robert, if you'd like to maybe just introduce yourself and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks in this case. So let me start sharing my screen if that is a possibility. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'll pop everything up. Make sure to also enable for sound.
Yeah, it should be working. I think the sound is it?
Give me 1 sec, because it doesn't allow me to click. No, could you maybe check if you can enable for sound sharing? Because there is a video included, but I cannot click the button. I could previously though.
Maybe hang on, let me make you co-host. Maybe that will do it instead of panelist. Does that work for you?
Let me see. No, I cannot say that it needs to share sound, but let's see how that runs. Maybe then the videos I will show will be without sound, but let's see what we can do on that.
In the sharing options, there's multiple panelists can share simultaneously, and there's no option on sound in that sense, but let's see if there's sound coming in.
Well, let's see. Let's first start and get going, right? I think that's the most. Thanks everyone for joining. I think I truly cater to what Jamie just said. StoryChief is a startup itself. I'm working in a startup environment. We're already a couple of years under our way. So we're heading towards what we call scale-up phase, but we're doing that with a small dedicated team of roughly 17 to 18 people. And that actually means that our co-founders, me, myself, joining the team as a late co-founder, but also the rest of the team is rapidly doing multiple tasks at the same time, although we have our focus. The CEO who focuses on investors, on relationships, myself focusing on the commercial team, but on the same side, I'm trying to pull my weight when it comes to content creation as well, to building partnerships, to leveraging our brand, and to doing all kinds of things, also hustle and bustle with existing customers to have conversations on where we can improve. So I fully recognize, and I think tapping in on specific elements that you can improve that could potentially you spend time on whilst maintaining your brand, but not spend a full day a week or losing time on that as how it feels is typically what we would like to promote in this case. And content marketing in essence is actually such a topic, right? Lots of people always say, but if I need to do a content stream, it will cost me hours and hours and hours per week doing research, creating. I'm not the best writer. There's all kinds of reasons in the end why that trickles down. And the good thing is though, content creation is actually for free, right? And it can really, really boost your content. StoryChief has been built for 90% based on organic content traffic, currently to where we are right now. So we fully eat our own dog food, as you can say, and that's actually what I would like to learn, because we do try to do that very efficiently and effectively. And I want to run you through a combination of who we are as a platform. And how you can leverage a workflow that really helps you to cater the needs of adopting a process that helps you build your brand from an online organic perspective without paid ads or without anything else instead. A little bit about myself. I've been in business for about 20 years. I've worked always in B2B, always in commercial teams, being included in marketing, sales, and customer management activities. And for the past years, I've been involved in e-commerce and also marketing. So really, engaged as well in partially my own work from a service perspective. So that's really something really neat. I live in the Netherlands. We're a Belgium-based company, so I'm far out. I'm saying good morning, whilst at you it's almost, let's say, running towards the evening already. But that never stopped us in a global market, right? From this perspective, and what we really see in the audiences that we cater is that content marketing is always a challenge, right? And I think the first one is always the one that comes up the most. It's a tiny team with a huge workload, especially in startups, scale-up areas where you're a solo entrepreneur, or maybe you're working with a small team. You never have enough hands to keep content consistent. The web traffic, the leads and traffic stall. There's a huge gap there currently that exists, where Google has done lots of changes over the course of the past two quarters. So you're still publishing, but it's not always bringing in the leads or the traffic that you are aiming for. So why is that happening, and how can we overcome? There's lots of channels. There's lots of reporting that you would like to analyze that are eating your time, and there's hundreds of thousands of tools out there, right, that you can use in your day-to-day operations, whether it's finance, marketing, CRM, you can't imagine. So juggling all those tools and all those channels is something that can be challenging. And with a platform like StoryChief, and there's others out there, of course, as well, you can, let's say, organize these and also overcome these challenges that we just listed down. How to overcome: centralize your workflows in a single source of truth. Automate and integrate, especially on your output channels. It's so easy to create social media posts and find a platform that can help you distribute these to LinkedIn, to the Meta platform, to TikTok, to YouTube Shorts, or to any other, without the need to constantly log in on the other channels and copy paste. Utilize rapid idea creation flows to spark new campaigns, new topics, and new contents, and always make sure to I always start my day with reporting. I'm not sure how about you, Jamie, or how about the rest, but I always start my day with reporting on marketing, on sales, and on CS to see what's happened, what trends do we see, and is there something that I need to pick up on today? And that's really important to stay on top. So
I don't
knowing
do it every morning, but I do it. Monday morning is very much that reporting day for me. But yeah, you're right to do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that every day, and if it's not in my morning process, then I'm trying to do it end of day at least to catch up on that. But yeah, if there's a rhythm, no matter the frequency of that, I think that's really important on the specific topics to look at. So knowing these challenges and also at least showing how you can solve that, right? We created a 20-minute, three 20-minute workflows in content production processes to help you overcome the challenges specifically to organic content marketing. And we do think that as an entrepreneur, a solo entrepreneur, or a small marketing team, leveraging these three simple workflows today can really help you boost your organic content marketing and the results coming out of that. We'll run through them, hopefully in about 3 to 5 minutes per item. I've tried to really keep it short, also tried to keep it visual with some videos to really not only speak, but also let visual do the talking. First element, automated content audits. Heavily underrated, whilst you can very easily create optimized content performance by doing this. How to utilize AI-driven content generation, where we would always like to say, keep the human touch, but let AI do the heavy lifting for you, especially in small teams. And how can you engage with rapid idea generation that will still remain to be on brand and can help you produce content with that AI-driven content generation afterwards fast, right? So it all is connected and tied to one another. And let me shortly run you through this. And this is a topic we've been also creating videos and content around from ourselves, from our own perspective over the past couple of months, because content audits and repurposing existing content is one of the most overlooked gems, hidden gems actually, in the content production process. And research shows that despite the impact that reusing and updating your content can have, more than 37% of the marketers have never even performed a content audit. And there's actually a very simple reason to that, because it's time consuming when done manual. Because think about going through all your blogs or articles or new items to see, hey, are we still on par? What do I need to change? How does that tie into my SEO strategy? What's running up? What's running down? And that's really, really time consuming. So one of the first steps we would say is try to find a platform that enables you to run an automated content audit that helps you identify top performing and underperforming content. Because look at the time that you've spent on creating your content, right? And also to make sure that it's your existing content is performing. And then you let that go to waste by not keeping it up to date. And here AI can do a tremendous job for you. And what a well-executed audit can do for you is that it will boost your engagement. It will spot inefficiencies and ineffectivenesses. It will help you leverage top-performing content. It improves underperforming content and also have you focus on that. It optimizes for keywords and it generates ideas, right? It helps you to actually find new ideas that you can start producing new content around. Of course, automated content audits are absolutely driven by AI. They help you spend time. If you set up the system right, it can really, really help you flag old but gold assets, refresh it, republish or repurpose existing elements, and it works 24/7 for you. So it does the heavy lifting whilst you can run it in a 20 minute flow.
Robert, sorry, just to interrupt. Is it possible your camera can shift a little bit just because where your head is blocking some of the bullet points?
Is that better?
At the moment you're over on the left, your head on the screen, and then the bullet
Like
point.
this or
No,
not?
yeah, like you almost
Okay.
need to be on the other side of the
I
screen.
will reshare. Give me 1 sec.
Okay.
I'm gonna reshare because I'm gonna do only content. So then probably you will not see me, if that's okay.
I mean, your picture will be up in the gallery mode. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's better?
Only because you got all the gold there, right? And I think everyone wants to, yeah, maybe if we just go back quickly.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Thanks, Jay, for flagging
Thanks
that.
for yeah. Thank you for that feedback. Let me go 1 step back to reset on where we were, right? There's 6 steps, 6 types of opportunities that you can leverage. We will show them coming from our platform. And I hope in this case, the sound will work because that's going to be imminent to this. So let's run this. I hope it works. Is there sound?
I'm not hearing the sound, but maybe are our guests hearing the sound?
No, it's not producing the sound. So then it's hard, right, to make that work. So I will share with you afterwards, Jamie. What she will explain is that an automated content audit can be run. And on a weekly basis, it will provide you a report showing you insights in new content ideas, in pages that are losing traffic, in underperforming click-through rates. And in that weekly report, you will actually see a very valuable list of cards, as they're also shown here on the right-hand side. And within 15 to 20 minutes on a day, you can actually update these cards. And you get tangible tips, tricks on where to update your performance, where to make steps, where to leverage that input. So your existing content is optimized for optimal use. So that's really a game changer for lots of our customers, for ourselves as well. We spend 20 minutes a week on updating this, and we leverage about 10 to 15 updates in that time spent. Then the second workflow is how to generate AI-driven content. And that's always a trigger, right? Using AI, but still remain to keep that solid touch. And there's have been a lot to do around that topic, but we firmly believe that AI-generated content can work for you, right? And the ways that you can make it work is optimize existing content again, right? Utilize it to run your content audit, to give you ideas, to refresh posts with updated data points. But the second element to that is repurpose across formats, right? So if you have done a webinar and you would like to put that webinar into a series of LinkedIn posts, for instance, or you would like to create 3 articles at the same time to really deepen the topic or add content to it for a newsletter, AI can do the heavy lifting for you, right? You can give it feedback, you can provide it with the context coming from your webinar, and then let it run all those assets for you with idea generation. The only recommendation I would give is don't let it take over the whole process, but make sure to keep that human touch with it. And it will also help you discover new content pillars. You can generate and chat with an AI bot to generate topic clusters who are informed over trends, audience insights, maybe even competition, and also performing past content that will allow you to generate those new ideas and ask AI to create those content topics for you. And as said, AI content generation is not a standalone process, because whether you use ChatGPT, Perplexity, Jasper, each system on its own needs to understand who you are, what you would like to write about, who your audience is, and what you would like to sound like. So make sure to fill that, what we call company intelligence page, right? And if you've done that right, the AI model is going to get to know you and can really help you leverage elements like content structure, creating content outlines, creating headings or CTAs for clarity in your consistency. It will optimize your content for SEO and GEO findability, which is key to in the current market to overcome that drop in traffic. It will help you create effective prompts and find out patterns for prompting purposes. And brand voice consistency in AI-generated content is really, really important. And building that company intelligence profile that is laid out above, it will help you ensure your tone, your style. You can cater multiple brand voices for different audiences or different channels to make sure that you sound differently on LinkedIn compared to how you sound on Facebook. And the outcome, that is actually a steady flow of high quality, optimized content across the different channels and formats that you would like to use. And running that by AI, you can really leverage a solid content stream in 20 minutes for the week ahead.
Sorry, just a quick question on that one. So
yeah.
the GEO, is that GEO
Yes.
as in geography, or is that something
No.
else? Engine
Yeah, they're always on the search for findability in this case. GEO doesn't stand for geography in this case.
Yeah.
But it's actually the term that they use for AI findability in this case.
Okay,
so
got it.
that if you put your research into ChatGPT or into Perplexity or into Jasper AI or something like that, that you will actually rank well in AI search results. And that's actually what GEO does.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks for the question, because that's an important one. And then the third element is rapid idea generation, because you want to be diverse, right? And after you've repurposed your content and generated new content, It would also be ideal if you can chat actually with AI to have a rapid influx of idea generation elements, right? And you can utilize AI for that based on the company intelligence profile that you've built, on the brand voice, on the audiences, and also on the SEO keywords that you would like to use, understanding which topics you would like to write about. And we also utilize Google Search Console for that in our platform that enables optimized keywords results because that actually makes that an analysis out of the, let's say, Google Analytics that are performing on your website. Also here, I actually had a short video, but unfortunately, in this case, due to let's say missing the sound, I will not be I will not show it because that really doesn't make sense. But here, the platform as well can help you what we call populate your calendar. You can actually chat with William, who we call, and ask him to generate you a list of 3, 5, or 10 topic ideas and refine those. And then make a selection out of those which you want to further create and enhance on. And that sparring, based on that full intelligence profile, can help you create a content calendar for the rest of the week, or sometimes even for the rest of the month, in under 20 minutes. I have to be quite honest. Not only focusing on long form content, but also on socials and the diverse channels that you use there. The next step. Whoops, I will, and key to that is prompting, right? So I created a couple of examples that you can use. We will share the deck afterwards, so you can share that with the audience as well. But for instance, one of the prompts is use your company intelligence profile, draft 5 content pillars based on the last quarter's top performing content, and include X keywords from Google Search Console. And this specific prompt will lead to an overview, a list of content ideas that you can actually very easily use, that are tailored to who you are, and that can help you create that specific element. Or the third one, I always love that, right? Repurposing. Turn a webinar transcript into a long perform article outline, a couple of LinkedIn posts, and maybe a 60-second video script. And you can all utilize that. And putting out that prompt probably gives you 30 seconds. And after that, you have a list of ideas that you can take out and start working on from there. If you have those ideas, if you do that content audit or you need a platform to run that on, well, we can help you there. The StoryChief platform is built to plan, create, even collaborate if needed with external copywriters, optimize and distribute content across channels. It allows you to collaborate from a single source of truth, to publish faster to all your channels, including web CMS and socials. And it will constantly help you measure, do analysis, and repeat based on top performing content. Of course, there's proven results, right? We see customers spending 80% less time on content generation processes, on brainstorming on topics, or saving 3 hours on content creation, or upping their website traffic. Well, in this case, 200K is a lot, but at least doubling or even tripling their performance on the website. Of course, in the end, leading to a higher influx of qualified leads. And the platform is used by a variety of audiences, entrepreneurs and solo marketers, as we are seeing in this session, digital marketers, editorial teams and agencies, campaign planners, and also SEO writers, to make sure that it's a streamlined, well-organized process that doesn't live in Word or in Google Docs or somewhere outside of their process, but is actually leveraged in one place, so you always have it firmly at hand. Well, how to get started? That's where you come in, Jamie, with the team, because we started a partnership, and I think we made a beautiful offer for both socials as well as long form with 1 or 2 users that enables you to do actually everything that we just shown in the 20-minute workflows.
Fantastic. Yeah, I had the screen ready to show at the end as well, so it's even better you got that one there. Appreciate that. I think there's a lot of really great content there as well. I mean, I had a couple of questions myself, but I do encourage everybody who's here to drop your questions in the Q&A as well. Anything you'd like Robert to talk about. But I mean, usually the question I'll ask people when they join the show, right, is so the topic we always go for is 0 to 1, right? So we're always thinking, okay, like you're right in the early days, you want to get started. Like, what would you recommend as that starting point? So because I think in that instance they might not have a consistent amount of content to maybe do the audit yet. I'm sure they could still do some better form of auditing than they are right now. But like where would you kick off, I guess, if you were starting from scratch now?
In the case you don't have a lot of content yet, start by number 2 is let AI do the work, the heavy lifting for you in the content generation cycle. And maybe even start with the third element, that is idea generation, right? So you can leverage a streamlined content calendar for 2 weeks ahead or a month ahead or 3 months ahead. Don't make it too heavy. Don't try to do 5 content pieces in a week, because in the end, that will of course help. But just by bringing structure to your content generation process, that's going to be key. And by constantly doing 1 blog a week or 2 blogs a week, promoting it on your socials, in the end will help you to become that thought leader on your domain. And especially if you tailor it to the needs of your audiences, and to the needs also in what you have to offer and what you solve from a pain point perspective, I think that will really help. And I think with, let's say, that 20-minute workflow and spending an hour on top maybe to really repurpose and work on the content creation to have a full article ready, yeah, is absolutely worth the time. As said, we've built our company based on 90% of organic traffic. And that is how we managed to build a customer data set of about 700 licensed customers at this point. And we are now slowly increasing with some paid advertising. But for that, you need revenue, you need money, right? So in that sense, organic content creation and utilizing free channels is at your disposal by this. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I would always start with that.
and what you just said as well, I think the fact that you're learning as you go, you're doing the auditing, you're testing out certain contents and things like that, that then gives you the insight to pay better for ads as well, rather than just spending money on ads that you don't know if it's gonna
No,
result.
because you actually learn from which content performs well, because you can track on your website which blogs are read often, right? And you can see on your LinkedIn which profiles, and don't be set back if your traffic doesn't increase in day 1 or day 2, because we also have high expectations, right? I'm going to push content and that's going to increase my leads and double it over time. No, it will take time in order to be picked up. And to be indexed in Google, and backlinking will work for that as well. So try to find um, a community that you can utilize to backlink your content to, and start contributing with one another. And I think from a Doerscircle perspective, you guys built a beautiful framework, right, in a community that can also leverage that and help that. But it will take time, but let it grow. And from there, you can carefully start also performing some ads and doing some other activities on top. Yes.
Yeah, I like that. And I think, as you said, you build it up. I think the key thing we've always said to our members is just try and do something that you can sustain. It's a consistent. You don't sit down on day 1 and say, right, I'm going to do 10 pieces of content every week if you think that you can't sustain it, because you'll do one really good week and then the next week all of a sudden it will overwhelm you. So start with.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes what we do see in small teams, I've actually spoken to a couple of those teams in the past days, is that they say we take 1 day a month and then we produce all our content for the month ahead. So on the first Monday of the month, we come together, we do our analysis, we start producing content with a team of 1 or 2 individuals. We spend a full day, but then we block it out for 4 to 6 weeks ahead. And then we do blogs, we do socials, we do everything we need. We schedule it, we plan it, and then we do not have to look at it anymore. Besides, at some points, looking at a content audit to manage the performance, and of course, look at the analytics. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think
that's also a process that you can take.
that sounds much more manageable, especially for an early stage founder or maybe someone who's a solopreneur. And we had a session last week, for example, with a guy called Rishab on Thursday, he works as a fractional HR leader in India, and
Yeah.
so he's a business of one, but he's also saying, look, I've got to be able to spend some time each week to find new potential clients. So it's not just as a business
I'm
owner.
not sure if it's
Yeah,
me or you, Jamie, but it seems like
is there a
your
lag?
wife.
Oh, maybe me then.
Sorry, I just lost you for a bit.
Is it better now? Sorry if it might have been
Yeah,
me.
you're back. Yeah, we're back. I'm sorry for that.
No, it's okay. Sorry, I was just saying we had a guest on the show last week, and he had mentioned how he's like a fractional HR leader, and so he has to go and constantly find new opportunities because he can't just sit on the clients he has right now. And so for him, he has to dedicate some time to doing this. So I think if you do it in the structure you suggested, where it's, you know, get it in place. If it's the first Monday of the month or whatever it might be, then it feels like you can do that, right? You can set that time
Yeah.
aside and and then you know, as yeah, as you said, you check in on it every now and then, but it's running and it's not going to stress
That
you.
is something you can do on a weekly basis on that first morning or something like that, right? Or at the end of the day, or you do it once a week. I do it on a daily basis, but yeah, absolutely, that's something you can schedule. And don't start with a full day. Start with 4 hours or something like that. Block your Monday or Tuesday morning and do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I suppose speaking, the other question I kind of had as well is I mean I know StoryChief's fantastic tool. It's going to be there to really help people take that next step as well, I think, and really get things structured. But if they were right now without those kinds of systems and they were even just going to try and use one of the AI systems that are available out there to them, obviously it's not going to give them all the things like the content calendar and the audits and things like that.
It's
But like,
okay. Yeah,
is
sure.
there any that you'd recommend? Because I know, like, I always hear that like Claude is good for copywriting, for example. Maybe ChatGPT might be better for synthesizing information. Perplexity is great for research, for example. But like, are there any like you would say, right, I would use this tool over the others or this model over the others in that sense?
I'm not too in depth on the individual models on itself, but I think the three you mentioned are exactly purposed for what you do. But from this solopreneur, let's say, example, I would actually look for a platform where you can also easily manage a profile of who you are and what you have to offer. Because just let's say ramping up ChatGPT and asking it questions at random is not going to do the trick. But ChatGPT can actually work really well. There's lots of teams that we speak to that have used ChatGPT. And in the background, one of the LLMs we use are Perplexity and ChatGPT as well. So it can actually do the work, but you do need to train the system a little bit on who you are, what you would like to do, what you would like to talk about, and also specifically to tailor it to the needs of what you have to offer, your audiences or keywords to use or not to use. I recently spoke to a company, they do technology in the railway section, and he said, yeah, it is a really distinguishment if you talk about a real road or a railway. If we talk about a railroad, everybody will say you know shit about this topic. If you
Yeah.
speak about railway, they think you're knowledgeable, right? So having that specific nuance to keywords, to key elements is going to be crucial. And make sure that the platform you use, and whether that's Claude or the elements from Google or even the Microsoft version, make sure that it knows who you are and what to speak and not to speak about, and that you can instruct that, because that's going to be crucial to content outcome. But ChatGPT, and especially on the 5 side, already does the trick for it. Yes.
Yeah, I think I see what you're saying. I think there's the memory element of it, I guess, that can be improved on, and as you said, training it in that sense. I mean, like I've the other point I'm going to come back to as well. I didn't want to interrupt you for earlier, but when you mentioned about, one of your workflows about repurposing content, I think that's super important as well. So, for example, what we do when we have these sessions is, of course, it generates a transcript. So Zoom has the captions, for example, and the transcript from that session could also then be created into a really good blog post or an article or something like that as well. Um,
Yeah.
Likewise, obviously, we have the really long form video, so it might be an hour long, but then we could cut it down into a short of
Snippets.
5 seconds or something like that. And so, yeah, like look at content, I guess, if to those listening in or watching back, like look at the content and think, okay, like how can I really stretch this and squeeze as much out of it as possible? Like what other formats, which also then gives you that variety. Like we've had sessions in the past about people talking about personal branding. Obviously, we're talking a lot of these lessons can be applied in a personal branding context as well. But ultimately, like you want to be great in a couple of key channels that work for you, where your audience are, and so on.
Yeah.
but the types of content, video, text, audio, mix it up, and that way people won't just look at it and skip past it, right? I think we can.
No, absolutely. And that also drives to that key element that not everything needs to be new. So it's very easy if you've done a webinar or attended another session or something like that to just take that transcript and use that to deepen one, two, or two, three specific bullet points and live on that. And that will generate you probably already 2 or 3 weeks worth of content already, both on long form side as well on your social side. So it actually doesn't have to be hard. And I think that's spot on, as you just mentioned it. Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Yeah. So what let's say, like earlier I said, I asked you a question about where to start with, and I think you said, yeah, get the AI to give you the heavy lifting, look at ways you can generate the idea pillars, and then I guess if somebody was solo and they're kicking this off, so say we're in month one, they've generated their ideas, they've got some content ready to go. So you'd recommend to them at least once a week to first check in on the auditing and that side of it, like having a look at the content and seeing how it performs.
I would look at the analytics during the first week. Content Audit will take it into account automatically, right? In the end, scraping your website. And the beauty of at least our automated content audits is that it doesn't only look at your, let's say, flexible content pages, so your blogs, your white papers and stuff, but it will also look at your static content pages. So if you have a website with a little bit more pages, it will also take that performance into account. But maybe a full content audit, give it some time, let's say 4 to 6 weeks before you can really do some performance analytics on that. And the good thing is, if you post every week, it will build up steadily from there, right? After 12 weeks, you've got 12 posts out, and it will constantly come up with new suggestions. But if you have some competition in there, it will also leverage in new ideas or how to expand on, for instance, a listicle article, maybe not top 5, but make it a top 10. Yeah, that will absolutely help you engage, but give it some time to start working, right? Your new blog will not be found immediately. It will take at least a week or two to be really densed in. So yeah, that would be my recommendation. Give it some time and then start repurposing.
So we had a question that came in. It just said, so it's like, what level of access does StoryChief need to their platforms, for example? Is it like passwords? I assume maybe probably not passwords. You might just have to link up certain accounts within the
Yeah,
StoryChief.
so when it comes to socials, it's actually logging in via the StoryChief platform to allow the platform to publish. So via StoryChief, you cannot access a profile or you cannot access anything else on that. It just allows you to publish content to your LinkedIn profile or to your Instagram profile, for instance, and it allows access back to pick up on analytics and reporting. And the same counts for website CMS. So for instance, WordPress or Webflow, which is very commonly used. You just need to log in with the admin user details. And there needs to be a little bit more complexity by addressing, okay, how does the content need to be published, right? So you need to cater the blogs and the theme, etc., etc. But we can help with that too by installing that. But you actually only need the access details, so admin details or login details to access it. And it's a verification process, and then it will push the content out. Yes.
Okay, another question for me actually I was thinking about is what would be a couple of examples, or maybe if it's only one comes off the top of your head, of a business or individual that's doing it right in your opinion? That's somebody who's like, almost like the bar in that sense, like of what does best practice look like, I guess, in that sense? Any examples you could share that people could look at as well? I know we can't always compare exactly to somebody else because they're doing things their own way as well, but
No. Look, there's a couple of references on our websites as well, right? And I think typically I would recommend to look at the typical type of company that fits to you, right? So Blue River Marketing, for instance, is an agency that might not always be comparable, but for instance, Swido or Crosscast are typical companies, also smaller marketing teams that really leverage StoryChief in order to be successful. And this is going to sound cheeky, but as I said, StoryChief eats our own dog food big time, right? We produce 3 to 5 content pieces on a weekly basis. We've built a massive database of content ourselves over the past 6 to 7 years. And of course, we started from scratch as well. But as I said, we've doubled our traffic over the past 1.5 years, even compared to when it was already good. Currently, we see the decline based on Google AI impact, right? That's stealing away your traffic because it's giving you the summaries of what you have to offer. But actually, due to the solid performance of our content and the relevance of the topics, we see that the traffic to our the conversion actually to our website is increasing with the relevant audience. So yeah, just have a look at our own website as well to the resources pages, not for commercial perspectives, but by, okay, what are they writing? Yeah, so how does that fit into what they have to offer? I think those combinations can be made really easy. Yeah, and on our website, there's lots of references for you to also pick in. Yeah, that you can check out.
Brilliant. Yeah. Going to throw a curveball your way as well, because I used to work in an industry where we work with a lot of marketing agencies, like some of the biggest marketing agencies in the world. And one of the things that got flagged up over time, and I'm sure this is something which is being addressed across the board with content creation, at least that sits within the AI spaces, is whether there would be IP that ends up coming into the content or something like that. You know, somebody has a photo they've taken and it gets merged into another bit of copy or video, or even maybe some sound or something like that in that sense. Like, how do you see that from your point of view, given that you work with an engine which is aggregating,
AI driven.
generating so much, content in that?
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's absolutely true, right? You always have to be careful on that. And one of the important things for us to do is building that company intelligence profile so it really caters to your needs. And one of the elements as well is whilst creating content, we have enabled web search so that you can at least see also what are the sources where your content is coming from. Um, and a very important element is remain that human touch. Make sure to read through the content that has been produced for you. Make sure to alter it a bit, make it personal, and really check it, right? And that can be a quick a glance that you give it, but that human touch is something very, very important. And we also speak to companies who handle legal documentation and legal content. And I always confirm, don't rely for 100% on the content generation process, right? Because that is impossible. If it needs to be compliant, make sure to check on it. And it remains an LLM. It remains a language model in this case. So always check upon that and make sure that it's factual, that it fits your audiences, that it fits what you would like to say. And you can also accommodate that by building that profile and asking for the sources actually to make sure that where the content comes from is also a source that you trust and can compare yourself with.
yeah, that's fair. I think that's great. And I think, I mean, we still in an era where there's a lot of learning to be made in that sense. Like, you still see, for example, even just the way that people use prompts and things like that can still be on the more basic side. So you can
Yeah.
go much deeper if you understand. And I think this kind of tool helps you because it already starts getting you deeper into the ideas and generating that information. And so then you can then start to say, okay, well, I have a bit more time to spare now. I can go even more niche, or I can go more specific, or
Yeah, and use your existing content, right, for future purposes as well. So don't only rely on that external source, but then also connect it to your existing content which you can tag or paste or use as a reference material to make sure that it really remains on par with what you would like to do. Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah. Trying to think, those are the sort of main questions I think that kind of came out in the conversation. I'm just trying to think. I was just looking as well. I think we've addressed most of the points on the flyer as well, which is good. So, get started with the audit. Look, I mean, I still think it's based on what you said as well, and based on my experience, you can start auditing your content straight away because it's going to give you some insights that you didn't think about before, might help you structure a little bit more in that sense. So definitely get started with that, even.
Yes, And even if it's not performance, it's new content ideas, right? And if you leverage also some competition information, so maybe tag 2, 3, or 4 competitors
Mm.
who have created content, you can learn from them because it will come up with ideas on how you can leverage those ideas in your own content stream as well and start competing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And do it sustainably. So, but as Robert gave such a good tip in that sense, like set some time aside. So put some structure in your calendar where you might say, right, once a week or once a month, whatever it is, we're going to generate, the core part of our content. I think there may be scenarios that I've personally experienced this where something happens during the month, something, I don't know, maybe a new partnership or a new case study or something like that you didn't know was going to happen at the beginning of the month. But if you've got your skeleton or your foundations of that content already being created, then there's no reason why you can't then spend some time to do that in a more dynamic way afterwards.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to have everything set in stone from day one of the month, whatever it might be, or Monday of the month, but it's going to help you at least make sure you've got something going, because I think that's the key. Is like, your customers are thinking about it, even as a founder, investors. I've literally spoken to businesses that invest in other companies, and then they might have said, "Oh, well, we had a look at their website, and it just doesn't look like they've done anything for quite a while. There's been no blog posts, or it doesn't seem
No
like
news
they,
updates. Yeah.
yeah, like maybe it was 2 years ago." And then they think, is the company still active? And the reality is maybe they're really active, doing a load behind the scenes, but you've got to find a way to get that message out to those who are interested in you, right? What your other
Absolutely.
thoughts. So
Absolutely.
got to do it. And I'm just looking. So yeah, content generation. So you can tackle SEO, sorry, and GEO. So use your AI for that. Um, we're going to share the videos so you can have a look at those as well, and
Yes.
then get going with it. Really, I think that's the key. So yeah, I think it's fantastic. I think it's a good start point. I think anyone can try this. I'd love to check in with people, even a month later, to see like how are they getting on with that. Even just doing something like that. But definitely, as you can see on the screen, like if you're interested, get started. There's a great deal through Doerscircle as well to get going with it. I don't think there's any minimum commitment, right? I think so they can use it on a rolling basis. So
It's a rolling basis on a quarterly basis. So that is good to take into account. The numbers you see are monthly in this case. Um, but yeah, this is a fair deal, I think, from your perspective. On our website, you won't find it cheaper, so that's good, right? And yeah, more than happy to
you got
assist
it.
and to accommodate. Yeah, yeah, yeah. More than happy to assist and to accommodate. And we do those check-ins as well. We reach out to see, hey, can we help? Can we help you set up or help you get structure? And if not, explore the website because there's so much content from our perspective as well, to help you create that content plan or to create that calendar or help you to brainstorm or how to prompt in a certain way. So yeah, we'd like to leverage our customers as well on that side.
Maybe just a quick one, because there are a couple of options there. So you have media plan and marketing plan. I know it's different for the amount
Yeah.
of users as well, but like just if you could quickly describe to people what the difference is between a media and a marketing plan would be.
Yeah, a media plan caters your social channels only. So that means that you can publish towards social media channels, let's say LinkedIn, the Meta platform, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Pinterest, Google My Business is also part of that. And the marketing plan caters full content, as we mentioned that. So that means that you can also generate SEO-driven content and publish that to, I think we have about 15 to 17 standard website integrations, out of which WordPress and Webflow are the biggest ones. So that's a different use of the platform, more complete. But the marketing plan also it takes into account social, so it's a combination of both.
Got you. Okay, no, it's good to know. I think just in case people have those questions, it's good to hear it from the expert in that sense, which is great.
Yes, and AI is included in these plans, and the difference between the two plans for media and marketing is either 1 or 2 users. So it's volume.
Fantastic. All right, great stuff. Yeah, so we'll hopefully hear from some of you as well after this on how you're getting your content going. Even if you haven't started yet, let's get it going today, right? You've got a great opportunity here. The best traffic is organic traffic by far. If you can get people that come to your website because of something that you've created, I can't remember the stat off the top of my head, but I think it's something like 3 or 4 times more likely to purchase a service than they would if they've come via a paid advertisement. And so it costs you less, you much better chance of acquiring them, and then you can scale your business that way as well. So, do spend the time on this. It's worth your while.
Absolutely.
Great stuff. All right, we'll wrap up from there. So thanks so much, Robert, for joining us. And
Likewise.
and then once you've got the slides, let us know. We'll get those over to the registrations as well. And then hopefully we'll catch up with you all on how you can get started.
Thanks, Jamie. Thanks for the invite. Thanks to the audience for taking the time to listen in. And if there's any questions which they pose to you, make sure to check in with the
I
team.
will,
We're more than
yeah.
happy to help.
Yeah, will do. Yeah, I know sometimes these things like people need a bit of time, they absorb it and then they'll ask
Absolutely.
after. So
Let
I'll
it sink in.
yeah,
And it's 5:30 your time, right? So
yeah,
maybe for lots of people, dinner is coming up, but let it sink in whilst cooking that well-prepped dinner,
yeah,
whilst enjoying maybe that glass of beer or glass of wine. And yeah, let's
yeah.
get started tomorrow.
Come up with some ideas or go for a walk or something like that. Would be great. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
there's 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 always chance times to generate ideas. Good
Absolutely.
stuff. Thank
Absolutely.
you, Robert. Have a good rest of the day,
You
and thank
too.
you everyone for joining. Talk to you soon.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.